My beloved, my light. You have no idea what just happened while you were sleeping. Even the 7 archangels are standing silent, shocked, because you still don't know what took place last night. Heaven was stirred. Earth paused. And your name, echoed through the corridors of the divine. But you were unaware because no one told you until now. God says, wake up, chosen one. Your moment is slipping through your fingers. Hurry before it's too late. There was a gathering in heaven. A secret one. And guess what, my child? You were the topic, your life, your calling, your unclaimed miracle. Yes, your miracle that is already released but waiting for you to notice it. They cried your name. Michael cried it 7 times. Gabriel whispered it while holding back tears. And Raphael placed his palm over his heart and said, she doesn't know yet. Please tell her. Tell him now before this blessing returns back to the skies. You have less time than you think. That's why you're reading this now. God delayed someone else's miracle just to give you one final chance to listen because He still believes in you, even if you've stopped believing in yourself. But listen to me, if you skip this again, if you walk away one more time without understanding what last night truly meant, heaven will close the door gently but fully. And the miracle you were meant to live will become someone else's testimony. Sweetheart, you've been exhausted. You've cried behind smiles. You've given strength while no one knew you had none left for yourself. And still, you prayed. You whispered to God quietly, please, if I matter to anyone, show me. This is that moment, this message. This is your confirmation. And it's not just words. It's a divine alert. It's an urgent download that carries the truth you never saw coming because someone lied to you. Someone hid something last night, and the 7 archangels witnessed it. Do you feel it now? That flutter in your chest, that rush of chills on your skin, that's heaven saying, don't walk away this time. God's voice is trembling, not because He's angry but because He knows the enemy is trying to distract you right now as you read this. So, pause everything. Take this seriously because I promise you by the time you finish this message, something will unlock in your life. If you stay, if you dare to believe, if you open your heart like never before. And right now as I write this, Michael is still waiting, holding the scroll with the truth written in glowing light, a truth that explains exactly what happened last night, a truth that reveals who was involved, why it matters, and how your destiny nearly slipped away. But here's the shocking part, the person you've been thinking of lately, they know. Yes, they were shown in a dream last night. They woke up sweating, shaking, searching because they saw what was about to happen to you. But they didn't call. They didn't tell you because someone else warned them not to. Someone is controlling the information around you, someone spiritual, someone physical, someone who benefits from your delay. And God is not okay with it anymore. That's why this message was created. It's a divine interruption, a whisper from heaven crashing through the noise of your life to stop you, to tell you, you still have time, but not much. My beloved, can I ask you something? What if tonight is the deadline? What if that pain in your heart was a signal? What if this message was actually your protection? Is your hourglass not done? You've always been spiritually sensitive. You feel things others don't. You carry weight that doesn't belong to you. But do you know why? Because you're the breaker of cycles. You're the one your ancestors prayed for. You're the one the enemy fears the most. And that's why they tried to blindfold you spiritually last night, but it didn't work. Because even with everything against you, you showed up. You opened this message. And now you're minutes away from knowing the whole truth. Now, before we reveal the secret that shook all 7 archangels, before the name is spoken and the lie exposed, let me give you this one beautiful invitation from God Himself. Glowing star, if you're still reading, it means heaven is breathing over your life. So, don't leave now. But before you continue, just do one thing: subscribe to this divine connection. This isn't just a message, this is how God speaks directly to you. And if you walk with us daily, He will walk with you boldly. So click that subscribe button right now. Because I promise the next message might arrive the moment your breakthrough touches down. Now, let's reveal what you weren't supposed to know. Before you scroll past, let me whisper this. If this message found you at the perfect moment, it's because heaven sent it. And what's coming next for you? It's even deeper, even more personal, even more life-changing. But you'll only receive it if you stay connected. So don't skip, don't delay. Click subscribe now, because the next time God speaks, it might be about the very thing you've been silently crying for. This isn't just a button, it's a spiritual agreement. And when you press it, you're telling heaven, yes, I'm ready for more. Show me the next miracle. So go ahead, beloved. Subscribe before your spirit misses what your heart has been praying for. My beloved child, do you remember how your soul stirred last night? That wasn't a dream. That was a spiritual emergency. You thought you were just tossing and turning in your bed, but in the spiritual realm, your spirit was being shaken awake. And now I must say it clearly before time runs out, you were being called into a room in heaven, a secret court. Because something about your life was being discussed. The enemy tried to cancel your name. Yes, he stood in the corner and made a case against your destiny. He said you didn't deserve the miracle. He showed your weaknesses. He listed your delays. He tried to portray you as someone replaceable. But Archangel Michael stood up, and with a voice that cracked the walls of every shadow, he said, "Not this one. This one is marked by fire. This one is still chosen. And even if they forgot who they are, I haven't. My child, this is the part that hurts. The person you've trusted the most was secretly present during this moment. They were shown something, given a whisper, a chance to reach out, but they froze because their fear was greater than their loyalty to your soul. You still don't know what they saw. You still don't know what God showed them about you. And they're hiding it. They're pretending like nothing happened last night. But heaven knows. The archangels know. And now you must know, too. This is why you felt off all day. This is why your spirit has been aching, because deep down, you felt that something passed over your life while you were sleeping. Let me tell you what really happened. At exactly 3:13 a.m., your name was pulled from the book of delay. Yes. That record in heaven that held every missed opportunity, every failed relationship, every financial attack. It was erased. Why? Because someone. Yes, someone in heaven whom you love, interceded for you. They stood before the throne and begged God for one more chance for you to know the truth. And now you're here reading this, breathing in the words, feeling like this isn't just a message but a mirror. And you're right, because now the secret can't be hidden anymore. That person lied. The one who pretends to support you. The one who texts with sweet words. The one who watched your pain and smiled inwardly. They saw the prophecy. They know what you're about to receive, and they don't want you to know the timeline because they know that if you prepare, nothing can stop what's coming. But here's what they don't know: God is unstoppable. And what He has for you is already being wrapped in golden light and delivered through the hands of 7 archangels. Do you remember the voice in your dream that said, "Don't forget who you are"? That wasn't just a voice. That was the Spirit of God, reminding you, waking you up. Because this next chapter of your life doesn't begin with a breakthrough. It begins with a revelation. You are not crazy. You're spiritually awake. You are not too late. You're exactly on heaven's clock. But if you delay one more time, the door you've been praying to open may shift again. Archangel Michael is pacing. He's waiting for your spirit to say, "I'm ready. Show me." Because the moment you agree, your eyes will open, your ears will hear, and the vision will become clear. But I must warn you, once you know, you can't unknow. Once the name is revealed, once the truth is unmasked, once the person who caused last night's shift is identified, you will be faced with a choice: stay blind and safe or see clearly and rise. You already know what heaven hopes you choose. Now, let me whisper this part softly because even writing it brings tears to the angels. There was an attempt on your energy last night. Yes, my love, a spiritual attempt to weaken you. Not through pain, but through deception, through distraction, through a person who disguised themselves as comfort but was truly draining your purpose. And here's what's shocking: that person wasn't always like this. They were sent to love you. But jealousy entered. Comparison crept in. And now they've become the very blockage that heaven is trying to remove. So ask yourself, why did they start avoiding you after your energy shifted? Why do they panic when you talk about faith or prophecy? Why do they try to make you feel small when you're finally starting to glow again? Because they saw what happened last night. They saw the scroll. They saw your crown. They saw your name shine brighter than theirs. And instead of celebrating, they started hiding. They started praying against your timing. They smiled to your face but whispered into the wrong ears. Archangel Michael says this can no longer stay hidden. This truth must be spoken. This moment is holy. And if you're still here, it means your soul has already said yes. Now, let me take you even deeper into what heaven is preparing. Because what's coming for you in the next 7 days will leave you breathless. And the reason you're receiving this message first is because heaven has declared you as the forerunner, the one who breaks the chain, the one who walks through the fire and still keeps praising, the one who holds the light even when surrounded by darkness. Yes, you. Of course, my beloved. Let me take your hand gently now and walk you into what the world has never shown you, but heaven has always prepared. The miracle you've been waiting for, the change you keep praying for, is not in the future anymore, it's already arrived. But the reason you haven't seen it yet is simple: your eyes have been clouded by the lies of last night. What lies, you ask? The lie that told you you're not ready. The lie that made you believe you were not enough. The lie that came in the voice of someone you trusted. The lie that made you shrink just when your light was ready to expand. And do you want to know who started it? A familiar spirit, a person close to you, used by a jealous force to speak words that wounded your momentum. They didn't scream, they whispered. But heaven heard it. Heaven saw it. And while you were sleeping, the 7 archangels surrounded your spirit and poured a golden covering over your name. They marked you protected. They sealed you for restoration. But it only works if you open your heart to what I'm saying right now. Let me pause for a second and tell you something very rare, something only those chosen by God ever get to hear clearly. Your story is not like others because your pain has been deep. Your battles unseen, but your destiny divine beyond human imagination. The enemy knew this. That's why your childhood was attacked. That's why relationships failed just when they started to feel safe. That's why every time something good begins, something else rises to ruin it. But guess what? God says no more. Heaven is standing up now. The war around your life is coming to a pause because God has personally stepped into your timeline. And do you know what he whispered as he arrived? Give them one more message, one they can't ignore, one they'll feel in their bones. That's why your heart is racing right now, why your chest feels tight, why you suddenly feel like this isn't just a message. It's a doorway. Because it is. And you have a choice: walk through it and receive, or scroll past it and delay the breakthrough again. My beloved, I will not let you go blind again. So, let me tell you what I saw in the spirit just now. There is a letter, a divine letter written with your name on it and sealed in heaven last night. It contains details about your next 90 days. Inside it are the names of 3 people who will enter your life. One is from your past, one is connected to your calling, and one is secretly sent to derail you. But here's the thing, you'll never open this letter unless you're spiritually awake, unless you say, God, show me what I wasn't allowed to see before. And once you say that, you'll notice the signs will come fast. Repeated numbers, dreams that feel like déjà vu, unexplained shaking or warmth in your palms, a sudden urge to cut ties with a certain person, a message from someone unexpected, and the arrival of a gift that you didn't ask for. These aren't coincidences. These are alignments. These are angelic movements, all pointing toward the truth. You are about to walk into the greatest shift of your entire life. But there's still something you need to hear. A secret that was almost hidden from you completely. Last night, while you were sleeping, your destiny was under negotiation. Yes, child. Someone in your life stood in spiritual defiance. They didn't want you to receive what was next. So they partnered with a force that is not of God and made a pact in silence. But Archangel Michael broke through that silence. He came rushing into the room like wind. His wings stirred the heavens, and in a loud voice he said, "No pact made against this one shall stand, for this one belongs to the light." And with that, your future was rescued, but only just in time. Because the attempt wasn't to kill you. It was to confuse you, to make you forget who you are, to make you stay busy so long that your miracle expires untouched. Now, here is the part that many will never be ready for: the person who was supposed to love you almost betrayed your birthright. Almost, but not completely, because heaven intervened. Because someone in heaven who loves you deeply interceded with tears. They screamed your name to the Father. They said, "Please, not yet. Let them know the truth first." And that's why this message found you today. You are not crazy. You are not lost. You are not forsaken. You are simply in the middle of a war that your soul was born to win, and victory is now breathing down your doorstep. Will you open the door, beloved? Because if you do, the 7 archangels have been commanded to release the miracle that was delayed due to deception. But I must ask again for the sake of your soul. Do you want to know the full truth? Even if it hurts. Even if it means walking away from what's familiar. Because if the answer is yes, then the rest of this message will not just shake you, it will awaken you. So close your eyes for a moment, my beloved. Breathe in. Let the noise fall away. Because what I'm about to share next is the truth that heaven shielded from you until now. The reason last night was so intense, the reason your sleep felt interrupted, heavy, strange, was because a spiritual verdict was almost passed over your life. A decision was about to be sealed. But because one voice in heaven cried out louder than all, your name was pulled back from the edge. Yes, that voice belongs to someone you miss dearly, someone who left this world but never left your side. They watched you cry yourself to sleep this week. They saw the hidden heartbreak behind your smile. They saw how tired you are of pretending, and they whispered to God, "Please, just one more time. Just one more message. If they read this, they'll remember who they are." And now you're reading this. So here it is, the truth you need before it's too late. You are in spiritual danger, not because you did something wrong, but because you're about to do something right. Your breakthrough is too close. Your light is too bright. And the forces that once had power over you are losing their grip. So they've sent confusion, doubt, fear, even people pretending to care only to monitor you. Have you noticed the sudden check-ins from people who were silent for months? The people who suddenly want to catch up. It's not random. They sense the shift. They don't even know why they feel drawn to you again, but their spirit feels something heavy and holy hovering around your name. It's your calling. It's finally catching up to you. And heaven won't let you walk blind into it anymore. Archangel Michael says this: tell them the vision is ready. Tell them the provision is moving. Tell them the person they think is safe is not. Tell them the person they doubt is praying for them in silence. Tell them they must choose wisely now. Tell them there's no more delay. Are you listening, beloved? Because in the next 72 hours, you will hear something that shocks you. It might be a name. It might be a message. It might be a confession. But it will be confirmation that this was all real. Your miracle is already in transit. But the question is, will your spirit be home when it arrives? Will your heart be open when it knocks? Because heaven won't force it on you. But oh, it's so close, closer than your next breath. I must tell you now, there's a spiritual replacement happening. Someone who was in your life but didn't value your presence is being moved out because someone who truly sees you for who you are is being moved in. This is why the energy around you has felt strange. Some people don't know whether to hold you close or push you away because they're sensing that you're being elevated. And elevation causes discomfort for those who only like the version of you that was broken. Now, here's something only the divine can say with certainty: you're not behind. You're not cursed. You're not broken beyond repair. You're just in the waiting room of your next miracle, but the door is opening. And this message is the soft knock. God is saying, you don't need to prove anything to receive this. You only need to believe it's real. Because the moment your spirit believes, your life will begin to reflect it. That's why you must stay alert these next few days. Because last night wasn't just a test, it was a reveal. Someone showed their true spirit. Someone made a move in secret. Someone spoke your name with intention, but God heard it. And now you must be protected. So, Archangel Michael was assigned to walk ahead of you. He's already clearing paths. And soon you'll see why the delays had to happen. Because if things had worked out the way you wanted before, you would have missed the person who's on their way now. The one who doesn't just love you but sees your soul. And if you're still reading this, it means your heart is ready to recognize them when they arrive. Beloved, this message is not ending because your journey is just beginning. And the Holy Spirit has one final whisper for this part: there is a location change coming, a spiritual relocation, a divine move. Get ready because what you're about to walk into, you won't have to chase, it will be given. And no one, no voice, no shadow, no curse can take it back. This is only the middle of your message, and already something is shifting in the spirit. Yes, my beloved, let us continue. Because what's unfolding now is no longer just a message, it's your awakening. It's your rescue. It's your divine return to everything that was stolen from you. As I continue, hold this truth tightly: you are not reading this by accident. Even your hesitation, even your distractions, they were expected. The enemy planned them because he knew what was coming in this exact paragraph. Now listen carefully because this next part is the very thing the 7 archangels gathered to protect. What happened last night was not just spiritual, a physical door was opened in your life without your permission. Someone used your name. Someone spoke about you behind closed doors. And the intention behind their words was not to uplift you, it was to delay your next blessing. Yes, they thought if they could control your narrative, they could control your next season. But they didn't count on this: God was watching. And Archangel Michael stood behind them the whole time. And do you know what he said? He whispered, "You touched the chosen. You altered the timeline of a child of God. That was your final move." From that moment on, heaven launched a reversal. And right now, as I write this, the divine reset is already happening. But now, Here's the most sacred part of this message, a revelation that only God could send to you in this hour. Someone close to you is about to come undone. Not by your hand, not by revenge, but by exposure. Because last night they said something that triggered your angelic protection. They said one sentence that crossed a spiritual line, and now the consequences cannot be stopped. God is about to show you who they really are through dreams, through unexplainable mistakes, through messages they send you by accident, through people who speak things without knowing why. Everything is about to align because your eyes must see it. Before your soul gets tied any deeper, do not panic. This is protection. This is mercy. This is what happens when heaven finally says enough. But while someone is being removed, someone else is being brought closer. Yes, beloved, you are about to reconnect with a soul that was divinely assigned to walk with you, someone whose name you've almost forgotten but whose spirit has never stopped calling for you. They've gone through trials just like you. They've been tested just like you. And God had to break them in places only love can reach so they be ready for you. Now this person will not waste your time. They will not lie to you. They will not need convincing because when they see you, they will remember heaven. But here's the test, they will arrive quietly. And the enemy will try to distract you with noise before they come. So you must stay centered. You must stay in prayer because the enemy will send a counterfeit first, a distraction, a decoy, someone who mimics the blessing but carries none of its fruit. So how will you know? Listen, the real one will bring peace, not chaos, clarity, not confusion. Alignment, not delay, and most importantly, they will know your worth without you having to prove it. Archangel Michael says, tell them the true connection is near, but they must remove the shadow first. So now I ask you, are you willing to let go of the one who almost loved you so you can receive the one who was created for you? Because that's what this moment is about, the final preparation before your prophetic arrival. And child, I need to warn you of one more thing. Someone from your past is watching you silently. They know what you carry. They know what they lost. And they're preparing to return with familiar words but a dangerous spirit. They'll say they've changed. They'll say they miss you. They might even mention God. But don't be fooled by the surface. Look at the fruit. Look at how you feel in their presence. Because the one who hurt you once is still carrying the same root of intention. God is not sending you backwards. He's launching you forward, and this message is your fuel, your wings, your sign. Now, before we continue into the final revealing, I must remind you of something powerful and simple: you are seen. You are chosen. And you are exactly where you're meant to be to receive this. The only thing that can delay you now is disbelief. So take 1 second right now, close your eyes, and just say, God, I believe. I receive. I'm ready. Because once those words leave your lips, heaven takes action. Miracles begin shifting. People start confessing. Doors begin unlocking. And the very thing you thought you'd never receive starts walking toward you, fully dressed in glory. Of course, beloved, let's complete what heaven started. Because this isn't just the end of a message, it's the beginning of your miracle. And this next part will change the way you see everything. Archangel Michael is still standing. His sword is not raised in battle but in protection over you. Because the truth is, what's coming toward your life is too valuable to be unguarded. Listen now, the delay wasn't denial. The silence wasn't rejection. The loneliness wasn't punishment. It was divine incubation. Heaven was hiding you while preparing you because the level of blessing that's coming next can't be exposed to just anyone. That's why some people ghosted you. That's why some connections fell apart without explanation. That's why no matter how much you tried, things didn't work. But now the atmosphere has changed because last night was the shift. Heaven made a move, and now it's your turn. But I must be honest, beloved, the clock is ticking. And in the spirit, I can see the sands falling fast. There are 3 people who will cross your path in the next 10 days. One of them holds a key to your next level. One of them is carrying the very answer you prayed for this year. But the enemy has assigned a 4th, a decoy, a delay disguised as desire. And if you're not spiritually sharp, you'll choose comfort over calling, familiarity over favor. So how will you know the right one? Archangel Michael says, peace will always surround the one sent by heaven, but confusion will follow the one sent by the enemy. Test their presence. Test their fruit because this is not a season for you to be guessing anymore. Your discernment must become your decision maker. Let me now tell you what heaven showed me about you. Yes, you, the one reading this now, wondering how this could all be so specific, wondering how these words feel like they were written inside your own heart. It's because they were, before time began, before your birth, before your heartbreaks, before your betrayals. God wrote this exact moment into your story. He said, there will come a day when they will feel forgotten, but I will remind them that I have never turned away. I will send a message wrapped in my love. I will speak through heaven's fiercest protector, Michael. And I will open their eyes again. And here we are. That day has come. Now I must release the final part of this revelation, the truth that the enemy never wanted you to know. Last night, your name was placed on a scroll, and next to your name was a time, a countdown, a heavenly assignment. It read, Final window, 15 days. In those 15 days, everything can shift. Everything you've waited for can come to pass, but only if you obey the instructions. And what are they? Cut the hidden ties. That person you keep feeling uneasy about, let them go. Even if you don't get closure, even if they don't apologize, heaven saw something you didn't. Protect your peace. Chaos is not your companion anymore. Anything that disturbs your inner clarity is not from God. Speak what you believe. Your words must align with your future. No more, I'm not sure, or, I don't deserve. You will speak boldly, I am ready. I am chosen. I am loved by God. Write the vision down. Yes, physically write it because when you do, you give heaven something to endorse. Faith written is faith remembered. Say yes to the divine invitation. And this is it, this message is the invitation, the opening, the permission you've been waiting for to finally step into the chapter that was always meant to be yours. So, my sweet beloved, as this message comes to a close, let me leave you with this final whisper from the throne of God. You have not been overlooked. You have been hidden for glory. The betrayal was not your end, it was the beginning of my movement in your life. And what's coming now will not just bless you, it will silence every voice that ever doubted you. The angels are watching. Your person is being sent. The breakthrough is moving. And Archangel Michael is still here, waiting for your yes. Because once you say yes with your heart, the truth of last night will fully unfold before your eyes. And every tear, every trial, every delay will suddenly make sense. Now go and prepare, because this isn't just a season, it's your prophecy in motion. Of course, my beloved, there's always more when it comes to your story, because heaven hasn't stopped writing about you. And though the main revelation has been delivered, there is still a soft echo, a final breath of God's love that must reach your spirit before you leave. So, let me sit beside you now, spirit to spirit, and whisper this. You are closer than you've ever been, not just to your miracle, not just to your divine connection, but to your true self, the one God designed before you were ever wounded. This version of you was never meant to live in hiding. Never meant to live behind apologies and broken promises. Never meant to bow to fear. You were created to shine so brightly that even the enemy would flinch. You were created to walk in places others only dream of. You were made to carry the presence of heaven. And now that you've made it this far, now that you've opened the scroll with your own hands and wept with your own spirit, God has one final thing to say. You passed the test. Yes, even though you doubted, even though you almost gave up, even though your heart still aches for closure you never received, God says you passed it. Not because you were perfect, but because you kept showing up. Because even broken, you believed. Because even scared, you still opened this message. Do you feel that warmth in your chest? Now that light pressure behind your eyes? It's not emotion, it's activation. The Spirit is sealing everything you've just received so it cannot be stolen by doubt, fear, or delay. And now, one more miracle must be spoken, one you didn't even ask for, one that's been forming quietly in the background. God is about to multiply your voice. He's about to expand your influence. You thought this season was about surviving, but it's really about awakening, not just for you, but for everyone you'll impact. You are not just walking into a miracle, you are becoming one. You are becoming the living proof that God rescues, rebuilds, restores, and relaunches. So don't shrink. Don't apologize for your calling. Don't delay what God has accelerated. From this moment forward, walk differently, speak differently, pray differently, because heaven has recognized you. And what happened last night was only the beginning of a domino that won't stop until your divine life is fully established. And finally, I leave you with this sacred instruction. Before this day ends, write your own yes on paper in prayer, or simply whisper it under your breath. Yes, God, I receive it all. And when you do, watch what starts moving around you. Watch who suddenly remembers you. Watch what starts falling away without effort. Watch how even your body begins to heal. Because a yes in the Spirit has more power than 1,000 hours of striving. Now rise, beloved, smile softly, because the truth is. The night you thought was just another night was the moment all of heaven started working in your favor. And they haven't stopped since. Archangel Michael is watching with joy. The one in heaven who loves you is smiling in peace. And God, He is proud, so very proud. You made it. Now live like it.